to MWEB's Entrepreneur Zone. Today I'm with Shezi from Scratch Mobile. Welcome, Shezi.
Thank you, Paul. Great to be here.
Tell us about your business.
I'm from Scratch Mobile. It's a panel beating and related services business based at OR Tambo Airport. So what we do is, if you're flying out of OR Tambo Airport, if there's any issue on your car, be it auto body, auto glass, car wash, and soon to be tires, we'll sort that all out while you're flying. So when you come back, your car is looking as good as new.
And initially your plan wasn't to be based at the airport?
Initially the plan was to be mobile, hence the name Scratch Mobile. So we figured, let's have a business that is mobile, that fixes car scratches on the go, hence the name Scratch Mobile. And then we even got the hotline, 083 Scratch. But then the opportunity came while we were busy marketing our business. We went to visit car rental companies at the airport. And there we were proposing that since they've got tons of cars which always have those scratches, we were proposing that we could become a service provider to them. We also visited the guys who run the valet parking. So the valet parking is where your big business people and celebrities and other normal people just drop off their cars at departures level, they leave the keys, and then they jump on the plane. So in that 2 minutes, while Steve Hofmeyer, who is a lawyer client of ours, when he leaves off his Chrysler, in that 2 minutes we go around the car, check around for scratches and dents, and then we then give him an instant quote of saying, okay, Mr. Hofmeyer, your repairs are going to cost you, say, 3,000 Rand. And then he deckens there by the quotation. And off he flies, and when he comes back, car is ready.
And the business is driven on great service and convenience and price?
Absolutely. I think there is no substitute to that, just keeping the promise. So if a customer says, I'm flying out today, please fix this 1, 2, 3, I'm back tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. Now, we work 2 shifts. We have a day shift and a night shift, just to make sure that that vehicle, when Mrs. Van Sale comes back, it's ready so that she can go on and pick up the kids from crash or do shopping or whatever dinner she had, or whatever other plans. Putting ourselves in the shoes of the customer, saying what does the customer really want, and we then go all out to make sure that we keep that promise.
With customer service being such an important part of your business, how do you make sure that all your staff are so motivated to service the clients?
All our customer-facing staff, we have a training session that's like 3 hours where we identify issues that happened, just to preempt stuff. And over years, I think our staff have realized that the customer is critical. We make sure that our staff are on point in terms of don't talk back to the customer, even if they are wrong. Just take a few steps back, and there's no first prize. If you win the argument with the customer, you've lost the customer.
How did you get your name out there when you first started at the airport?
Even before we started the business, we made business cards. We branded our van nicely, and then we had a website, www.scratchmobile.co.za. So when the van drove around on the freeway everywhere, people would actually wave the van down and pull us to the side of the road and say, hey guys, what are you doing? I see you here. Can you come to my house? How much is such and such? And then we'll just follow up and go. I think the web for us was like key in just terms of getting those customers through the door.
And you came from a management consulting background, working at a very big business, going into working in a startup. Tell us about that experience.
I think moving from the high salary of management consulting to poverty of a startup was quite a big jump. It took quite a lot of faith, that one won't go under quickly. So what I'd done was I'd sold my flat to be able to, and I took the profits from selling my flat plus my pension fund. So then I had about enough money to last me about 8 months if everything really is terrible. So that was the small pockets of cash that one had, and one just started. So we lost a bit of money. It was tough initially. It was really tough because there's almost zero government funding for anything, and as a startup you pay higher prices than people who have been established for longer. So but we survived. It's been about 7 years now. I still don't earn the same amount of money I used to earn at the management consulting firm, but I'm closing in on the gap. Slowly closing in.
And you knew nothing about auto repairs?
Yes, I knew pretty much nothing about cars, especially about spraying of cars. But I did engineering at school at UCT. So being an engineer, you're able to just deal with your eyes and look and see how things are done and copy that and look at how to improve it. So I think that's one thing what brought a bit of an advantage, in that something looked very complex, but with the bit of the technical training one did at school, one is able to just put the problem into pieces and just attack.
So it's been helpful for you to have an engineering background, but there's some complexities in terms of the variety of cars that you deal with and the variety of colors. How do you make sure that you can deal with all of them?
We mix all sorts of colors from anything from Ferrari, Maserati, Lamborghini, all the way down to a Corolla or a Toyota Tez. So how we do that is every vehicle has got a color code. Sometimes it's by the door, sometimes it's by the bonnet, sometimes it's in the cubby hole, sometimes it's in the boot. So we know where they are. So we get that from the vehicle, computer match it, and then our spray painters are qualified A-grade spray painters who actually can eyeball a color. Look at a color for a Ferrari, and using no computers, but using the various toners of paint, they can mix it by just looking. In fact, I went on a course to do that myself, and I beat a few spray painters at that job. So, yeah, that was very useful in terms of just making sure that your colors are right, because that's the key thing with panel beating. The color is like your plate. You can save a great steak on a paper plate, but if it's on a paper plate, you can't really charge $800 for it. But with proper color matching, we're able to, with confidence, receive any car from anyone, knowing that it's going to come out right on time all the time.
It must be a lot of pressure when you're dealing with a Maserati or...
Yes, it's quite a bit of pressure, but we've done this for about 7 years now. So it's we dream about paints when we sleep. Yeah.
How do you manage the capacity that you have if on a given day more cars come than you expect?
We have 2 shifts. So we've got a day shift and a night shift. So that in terms of capacity, we've got ample capacity. And also, if you arrive today and you are returning today, we won't turn you away unless maybe the work on your car requires longer time. But we are able, since we know when the next guy is coming back, if the next customer is coming back next week, so we'll pause work on the car that's coming back next week and just focus energies on the cars that are due today or tomorrow. Then the ones for next week, we start them closer to the time. Yeah. So that's how we manage to balance the workload and not being able to turn anyone away.
And is that an opportunity for you to expand?
Yes, I see a bit of an opportunity there. In fact, we're busy negotiating franchise agreements for Cape Town Airport and for Durban Airport. So in that way, then we can be able to have critical mass, so that you can be able to use your bonus points, your miles, your this, to be able to pay for the scratch or tires or something. You know, with the national presence, we can be able to provide a better service in terms of linking to all these loyalty points that exist countrywide by various banks and institutions.
In terms of the product offering that you started out with scratches, but you've expanded the product offering.
Yes, it's increased. So if you're flying anytime, any scratch and dent work we do. Even hail damage we do. We cut off roofs, throw them away, put a new roof, weld it on and spray. We're advanced. We also do auto glass, as I've mentioned. We also do carwash. And next year we are introducing tires. So if your run flats have run flat, we're your man.
You've grown substantially and you've expanded in the 7 years that you've been operating. What's next for you?
Currently I'm working on some exciting stuff. There's a small project that I'm doing which is called the Zulu Film Festival. So I make films on the side. Yeah. So we're doing this just to, again, go into the film industry and shake things around, you know, in terms of how films are distributed to people's homes. So we're making films, putting advertising inside them, and then we distribute them for free or 5 Rand at the robot. A good film, but making sure that it goes into every home. And if someone photocopies the DVD, we just clap hands because the advertising that's inside the DVD just goes viral.
That brings us to the rapid fire questions. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Stay humble.
What's been your best moment as an entrepreneur?
The best moment was when President Jacob Zuma shook my hand and patted my back, having seen some of the work that we've done.
And your biggest mistake?
Was making a payment to a landlord before we sign the lease.
What do you look for in people that you work with?
First is trust. If I feel you can't work with my people, then I won't hire you.
What does an entrepreneur need to be successful?
Daily I remind myself to be fearless.
What inspires you as an entrepreneur?
I'm inspired by leaving a legacy.
What would you do differently?
I would get more advisors. It helps just keep you in line.
What makes South Africa a great place to be a small business owner?
We are essentially 2 countries in one. So one is able to procure skills at third world prices and be able to sell those same skills at first world prices. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in terms of starting businesses than here.
What keeps you awake at night?
Well, except for the little one who wakes up at 3 a.m. Nothing much.
And what gets you going in the morning?
What gets me going is my family and my little one.
Shezi, thank you very much.
Thanks.
And thank you. We look forward to the coming weeks. We will bring you further South African entrepreneurs. I'm Paul Hobden. Thank you and goodbye.